Hello, guys. Test audio. Well, I'll make this an open chat. If anybody wants to jump in, shoot me an email at apaperez61@gmail.com. I'll shoot you the link. It'd be an open chat about anything. Haven't picked a topic for it just yet. But I guess I'll start by saying that I am fighting a cold. So if there's any, got my tea and my honey here and everything. So, yeah, I took some Dayquil. Got done cleaning up my room. Now I'm just waiting on laundry to finish. So I figured I'd start a live chat and see what everybody's up to. Yeah, I've been using Linux full time for about 5 years now, and Arch Linux is the main one for maybe 4 out of those 5 years. And I just recently switched to i3 GApps to be precise. And we were talking on Total OS today about a national desktop being Ubuntu based, and I think that's a good idea. I mean, Canonical definitely has the resources for it, more so than I think most other companies. However, my comments on it would be that the Arch user repository, or the concept of it, is, in my opinion, a very good idea, because whenever I need to find a piece of software, I might have to Google it to find the package name, but that's about it, right? And um, maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'm still learning how the ins and outs of the video software and stuff, and yeah, like this is like my first time attempting an open chat to see if it works. And but yeah, what I was saying before, yeah, there's something to be said about the AUR as a concept, and I understand the issues with Arch, that it's rolling release, it's very bleeding edge, it can be unstable. I love Arch. Would I give it to my grandma or to a new user? No. I probably wouldn't even put Manjaro on their systems. However, that being said, I do believe there's something to be said about the ease of access to software that the AUR provides, in that I don't have to go hunting for a PPA. I don't have to hope and pray that the guy who maintains it forever. I think that perhaps the community or someone should maybe create like a different kind of AUR, perhaps um what's it called? Um, Perhaps make a new AUR, or maybe you could maybe snaps or flat packs or app images could be on their way to this concept. However, what I'm looking at is make them maybe not the bleeding edge version. Make them a few versions back, or the earliest LTS, or the latest LTS version of it, and that way it'll be a little more stable, and have like a more of a rock solid community behind it to make sure that, like, because certain AR packages are broken, orphan, etc., etc. And so yeah, that's my idea, because what I've always found with Ubuntu, and don't get me wrong, I loved Ubuntu. It served its purpose for me, and like, was that it was very difficult sometimes to maintain software and find software. And with Arch, I rarely have an issue, and I didn't think that, like, you know I would have never thought that you know Arch wouldn't have had that issue, and I never in my million years thought that I would have stopped distro hopping on Arch. I thought that Arch would just be like, okay, I'm gonna install it, get it installed, and then there'll be a notch in my belt, and I'll just go on to some other distro. But lo and behold, I landed on it. So um, yeah, and yeah, dash dash, yeah. With the way it is right now with me, I do have a 7-month old, and my work schedule can be kind of hectic. So for me, it's just finding the time to do this, and also, without, what's the word I'm looking for, stepping on the toes of the other guys. Where like DistroTube, Toss, Switch, Tom, and all them. I try to not do this at the same time that they do their streams. So far, it's been difficult to find a slot where. But yeah, though, I might, if I might try to get to know like Caden Life and stuff like that, to see if I can maybe edit a fairly decent video, and they upload content that way so people can watch it at their leisure. But yeah, this is like the first time I've had since I did my first live stream that I've been able to do one because of time, and you know VR Keck. Welcome to the chat, VR Keck. How are you? Do you run Linux? I get it. I get it, Keck. Yeah. Um, I know this is a new channel, but um, yeah, Keck, I get that first message, but like what, like yeah, that's kind of. Whoops. My bad, dash dash. I tried to aim for Keck's message here. Uh, uh, yeah. Um, that was my fault, dash dash. I was aiming for Keck's little dirty comment there. I don't know how to restore. Uh, Keck, you're gonna have to stop that. I know this is a new channel, but I'm not gonna be accepting trolls right off the bat. That's just not gonna happen for me, buddy. Me putting you in timeout for a minute. All right. Hello, Ricky, Yu-Gi-Oh Master. Yeah. Figures the first time that I do this, I get a troll, right? But yeah. Still learning how to do this. Still learning how to get this through. I guess what I'll say is you asked the question the other day. What is Linux to what is Linux to me? And to me, Linux is more than just a kernel, right? It's a community, and I never thought that like I would find a group of friends like I did because of the operating system, or in this case, I know the GNU people. It was just the kernel that happens to run the operating system of my choosing. Yeah, anonymous. So it kept me busy for a week. But in fairness, I did get it up and running. It was on a kind of a generic machine. It was a quad core AMD graphics integrated. No, it was Intel, integrated Intel. It had 8 gigs of RAM. It was just a quad core. And it took me about a week in between work and life and stuff to get it up and running with a I had a KDE desktop on it, and it was up and running. It was running just fine. However, when I tried to compile Firefox after that, just Firefox, I just needed a web browser. I started the compile in the morning, came back at night, it was still compiling. And so, I mean, I just can't use a system like that on a daily basis. Like, for me to get all the apps that I use on Gentoo at that rate, it would have taken about a year or so. I don't know enough about Fun2 to make a comment on it. My distro of choice, Anonymous, is Arch, because I do like to be able to build it myself, but I also want to be able to have a life, and Arch allows me to do both of those things. I mean, like once you get used to the installation process on Arch, it's a lot. It's not difficult, really. Although my new machine now, I got like 20 gigs of RAM, soon to be 32 gigs, and i7. Parabola, I only know what I've heard from Luke Smith about Parabola, and apparently it's an open source alternative to Arch. For me, my current laptop has a NVIDIA Optimus graphics card in it, and so I would imagine it would be quite difficult to get it to run properly on my particular machine, because like for me, it's like I understand the advantages of having open source software. However, if I have a choice between in running all open source software but having a little component of my computer not work properly, or installing a proprietary driver to get it to work properly, I'm installing the proprietary driver to have a fully functional computer. As so, like, yeah, I do have the proprietary NVIDIA drivers on here. I don't know if Parabola has the access to the AUR, but it seems like it's pretty strict to the the FOSS, the free and open source software philosophy. So it might be quite difficult to get it to work on certain machines. Yes, Anonymous, I have a ThinkPad W530. It's the same one the Spatry uses, and matter of fact, he's the one that turned me onto it, so to speak, because I know Luke Smith runs a lot of ThinkPads, and he was the first one that got me to look in that direction. But when I was looking at them, they didn't really seem much more impressive than the ones and the laptops I already had. Until Spatry came on one of his first videos back, or like when he came back from doing whatever it was he was doing for 2 years or however long he was gone. He said he had a ThinkPad donated to him, and he said they allowed him to stream in 1080p. And he gave the model of it, W530, and he started talking about the specs of it, that you can take the DVD drive out, put a drive caddy in it for a secondary hard drive. And, I started thinking, like, I could do that. And I looked up the W530. It has a NVIDIA Quattro with 2 gigs of dedicated memory to it. It came with 8 gigs, but I can up it to 32 gigs. Right now it has 20 gigs in it of system RAM, and an i7. It's got 4 cores, but it has that hyper-threading thing, so it registers as 8 cores. So, yeah, this ThinkPad is a bit of a beast. I love it, and I think I'll be sticking with ThinkPads for a while now. But yeah, the ThinkPads are very Linux friendly too, so that's a good thing. Core Libre booting. I'm not sure what that is. Um, I do know about cubes. That's the secure. It's supposed to be like for anonymous web browsing, right? Okay, Libre boot is a free, as in freedom, BIOS or UEFI replacement, initializing the hardware and booting your operating system. It is also pre-installed from these suppliers. We provide user support via LibreRoot IRC on Freenode. Development discussion also occurs on IRC. Instructions for sending patches are on the Git page. Oh, so it's like free and so it's like a FOSS version of a BIOS or a UEFI. Um, okay, I kind of get what this is. Um, I don't I don't think I'll be um playing around with the BIOS on my computer anytime soon. Just because, like, if I flash it and it breaks, then that's it. I can't fix that. And so like I think that like maybe I'll test it on another like throwaway computer just to see how it works. Um, However, I don't think I'll be experimenting with this on my main this production machine right here. Just because I've heard complete horror stories about people who have flashed their BIOS in UEFI and their computer is just rendered completely useless. Oh, okay. Hmm. I might give cubes a test. Okay, Yu-Gi-Oh. Uh, Here, let me. Uh oh. Hmm. Okay. Something going wrong with oh. All right, Ricky. It's gonna take me a minute to get this because for some reason Google Mail is not functioning. Let me try to do it through Evolution. Yeah, for some reason my Gmail page keeps crashing on me in Chrome. I'll try maybe Firefox here. Hmm. All right, here we go. All right, I hope I do this right. I'll send you the link here. Okay. Oh, it worked on Firefox. Hopefully that's the correct link. Um, ah, so cubes is for compartmentalization. So you mean like sandboxing applications or like separating processes from each other so that they can't um, be a security flaw or like access each other. Yeah, Ricky, let me know if you get that. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping I sent the right link. I took the link from on top there and copied that. Um, it's my first time doing something like this, so I hope I did it right. We all got to start somewhere, right? We all got to learn. Well, I'm sorry about that noise in the background. I am doing some laundry, and the washing machine is like trying to run away or something. Okay, so it says here Cubes OS is a security oriented operating system OS. The OS is software that runs all other programs on a computer. Mm. How does Cubes OS provide security? Cubes takes an approach called security by compartmentalization, which allows you to compartmentalize the various parts of your digital life into securely isolated compartments called cubes. Interesting. This approach allows you to keep the different things you do on your computer securely separated from each other in isolated cubes so that one cube getting compromised won't affect the others. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So if one app crashes, it's just that app. It doesn't take the whole computer with you, or if one component. For example, you might have one cube visiting untrusted websites and a different cube for doing online banking. This way, if your untrusted browsing cube gets compromised by malware laden website, your online banking activities won't be at risk. Similarly, if you're concerned about malicious email attachments, cubes can make it so that every attachment gets opened in its own single-use disposable cube. Oh, so it sounds like a cube is like a sandbox session, that can I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like it's like it's almost like the same concept of like sandboxing, but like hmm, I'll have to try this out to get a better concept of it. Yeah, it sounds like you know how you log into a computer and then you log out, and then because it's attached to a server, everything on that computer gets wiped, and it seems like that's what it's doing. Only they run simultaneously to each other. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Might give this one a shot and see how it runs. Okay. Using a separate physical computer for sensitive activities can certainly be more secure than using one computer with a conventional OS for everything, but there are still risks to consider. Briefly, here's some main pros and cons relative to cubes. Hmm. Physical separation doesn't rely on a hypervisor. It's very unlikely that an attacker will break out of Cube's hypervisor. But if one were to manage to do so, one could potentially gain control over the entire system. Oh, really? Uh, yeah, I'll check that out. System requirements. Should be under documentations. I would imagine. Mm, yep. Oh, wow, wow. Um, Cubes release 3.x. The minimum 64-bit Intel or AMD processor, 4 gigs of RAM. Wow, that's the minimum. 4 gigs of RAM. That's a lot. Um, Here, let me. Here, I'll try a screen share here. Uh, oh, well, it looks like I'm stuck doing both screens on screen share. But anyway, if you look on this one, here, this is what page I'm looking at here. It says Cubes Release 3.x, and it's got here the minimum is 4 gigs of RAM. Well, a 64-bit processor, that's not too crazy for today. A lot of distros are dropping 32-bit support. Is these ones here? These are a lot more than your average distro, with it requiring 4 gigs of RAM at the minimum, 32 gigs of disk space. That's quite a bit. Um, let's see. Recommended here says fast solid state drive, strongly recommended. Intel IGP, integrated graphics. I assume that's what that means. Strongly preferred. NVIDIA GPUs may require significant troubleshooting. Well, that kind of knocks it out of the water for me. I do have an NVIDIA. I do have an NVIDIA Optimus. And like that is like, from what I've read up on, is quite a pain to get it to work in any distribution. And so if it's a distro that I'll check the hardware compatibility list. Okay, I'm gonna run a quick check for NVIDIA Optimus. Whoops, it says here the optional NVIDIA Optimus VGA is still not working. Yeah, I mean, and NVIDIA is a bit of a pain no matter what distro you're using. But from what I've read up on NVIDIA Optimus, can be like a lot worse and a lot more of a pain to get working than any other distro, or than a lot of pieces of hardware. Another piece of hardware I would assume won't work is Broadcom. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, Broadcom was a pain in the butt when I had one running Arch. Because the Broadcom chipset, the people who developed the driver for it, what they do is they try to reverse engineer it the best that they can, and God bless them, they do their best, and I'm not knocking them, but when your kernel updates like on a weekly basis, that can be an issue, and they didn't update their the compatibility to the new kernel in time. So every time there would be like a update of the kernel in Arch, the Broadcom drivers would boom break my system, make it unbootable. And it took me a while to figure it out, but then I went into it with my the rescue with the bootable ISO, removed the Broadcom drivers, and then boom, booted up just fine. Yeah, I do not recommend Broadcom for Linux. If you can, stay away from that. Um, I'm not going to tell people to stay away from NVIDIA because some people need it. You know, some people need that graphics that GPU power for what they do. So, but no, Broadcom kind of stunk. Um, because it didn't have a lot of range either. And but from what I understood, it didn't really work that well in Windows either. So I mean, I wonder if it's got. Hmm. Let's see. What do we got if we go all the way to the top? Hmm. Yeah, I think I would maybe test this distro on one of my I got two kind of generic laptops that I bought off of Amazon before I bought this ThinkPad. They both have integrated graphics. They both have just a basic quad core CPU. They both have 8 gigs of RAM. So I mean, they should, by these specs, they should handle cubes just fine, if not barely. I might test cubes on one of those machines or in a virtual machine before. Um, what is it based off of? Is it based on Debian, Arch? Hmm. Hmm. Excuse me. Yeah, still getting over a bit of a cold here. But yeah, we were talking on oh wow, managing operating systems within cubes. That's interesting. So you can run another operating system in a cube. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I might give this a shot in a virtual box. Maybe give it 10 gigs of my 20 gigs of RAM. They shouldn't have any issues with that. Hmm. Oh, yeah, that says R4. Right, so uh 4.x. Let's see that one. Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Um. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, that was very weird. Um, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed since I upgraded the Comcast modem, I've been having like intermittent crashes on like multiple systems, not just on my laptop, but on my phone, and other people in the house have been having the same issues. That's Comcast for you, though. Here we're gonna upgrade your modem. All right. Anybody in the chat still hear me, or am I still having issues? All right. Yeah. Yeah. Um, we had like a very old Comcast modem, and we traded it in to get a newer one. But I mean, I don't know what the issue is. I've noticed this one's been kind of problematic. It can't be. It can't be that the signal is weak because I'm right next to it. It's right. It's literally like right next to me, and I got 100% signal strength, and so yeah. Um, hmm. But yeah, where was I? I was looking at Cube's system requirements. Yeah, that's what I was doing, and yeah, um, yeah, I was looking at the system requirements for Cube's OS at the request of Anonymous here, and yeah, let me turn on screen sharing again. And it is just nuts. It really is nuts. It's 4 gigs of RAM is the minimum requirement. 32 gigs or 32 gigs of disk space. That's a lot for a Linux distro, in my opinion. I think Steam OS has similar requirements, a minimum of 4 gigs of RAM. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, let me back on here. Yeah. Whoop. There's Ricky.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Um,
Oh, doing good. Just been I just set up a Manjaro i3 on the other computer over there. Still trying to figure out how to adjust that clock to the right time.
nice, nice. Yeah. How you liking it so far?
It's okay. It actually presents a very good challenge to me since I'm trying to get into using window managers like DT is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been using i3 for since September now, and I haven't gone back to really full blown desktop environments since.
Oh, okay. But other than i3, my favorite window manager is the one I'm using right now, Antergos OpenBox.
Yeah, I like OpenBox too. Um,
It's very easy for me to configure it, get it to where I want it. I right now have it in a layout just like a Mac.
yeah, and I mean, in my opinion, it's like I'm not even a developer. I'm not even a programmer. I look at the i3 config file and I have no problem at all editing it.
Yeah, basically the only thing I'm having trouble with right now on i3 is just getting the clock at the bottom right to show my actual time. I mean, America
Hmm.
slash New York is the time frame I go at, but for some reason it's stuck on like I think it's on Army time that it's stuck on.
Hmm. Are you using i3 blocks or are you using the scripts?
I don't know. The only i3 that I know I'm using is the i3 configuration that Manjaro came with when I installed it.
Hmm.
So I mean, I'm using Manjaro i3.
Yeah.
Mm,
If you go to Luke Smith has GitHub page where he has i3 blocks is basically here. Let me screen share. I'll show you what I got here. It's basically these things up here. Each one of these things up here in the corner is a I'm sorry. I know I got the both screens here. I can't figure out how to get it to isolate just one. Um, but yeah, here, let me. Yeah, if you go up here in the corner, you see how I got the kernel version, the weather, the volume here. E-
mhm.
Each one of these things is called an i3 block, and what you do is you install a package called i3 blocks, and it separates each one of these things into like a different script. And for me, I just downloaded a bunch of Luke Smith's ones and tweaked them a tiny bit. You know, I'm not really that big into programming, but I tweaked them a tiny bit to get them to work on my system properly. And I also have two more. Um, one that gives me the public IP address in IPv4 format, and one that gives me IPv6. But I disabled those ones when I live stream for obvious reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, i3 blocks. If I get this, if I do it correctly, it should allow me to change the clock.
Yes, I mean you should be able to do it with regular i3, the regular i3 config file, but I found it a lot easier to do it with i3 blocks. Like, here, let me
Because
show you.
I'm guessing with i3 blocks, because it has a separate script for a clock.
Yeah, well, like check it out here. When you come down here, like you see my i3 config file right here.
Oh yeah.
You come down here, it says status command i3 blocks, right? Like up here
Mm.
it says status command i3 status. That's probably what you have right now is the i3 status, and then it points to the config file. Um, Down here, I commented those out so it would ignore that. Then down here, I switched it to i3 blocks and then pointed it to my i3 blocks config. Um, and I have that set to a keyboard shortcut to open up too. um,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I go into here and like let me see if it tells me where. Yeah, like all the scripts will be located here. User, library, i3 blocks, and then um, environmental um, variable block name. And so like up here, you would do the name, instance, host name, interval once, and yeah, and yeah, like down here, you see I got the two public IPs. I got those commented out so they won't show up here. I might re-enable those when I'm not live streaming. Um,
Hmm.
just because I like to use it as like like a basic network diagnostic tool. Like if I'm not getting a public IP address, I'm not online. If I'm getting a public IP address, I know I'm getting out somehow. So like it's just a nifty little tool.
Okay. So
Yeah,
basically, iFree blocks helps you manage iFree a lot easier than you would in normal iFree.
I think so. I mean, i3 blocks isn't the whole window manager. It's just like a little
Yeah.
tool that you would run. You know, like roll fee over D menu, or it's just like an alternative to it.
Yeah.
I think.
With Manjaro i3, it actually came with a couple menus: B menu, D menu, and Mork menu.
What was it? Bork menu?
Mork menu. It starts with an M. It basically, if I go mod Z, it'll bring up a menu similar to what a start menu would look like.
Oh, I see.
The only thing about i3 that I haven't figured out yet is, can i3 run a dock application?
Doc applic. Oh, like Docky or something?
Yeah.
Um. Well, this is a good time to. There's no time like the present to find out.
Because I know OpenBox has Docky, which it's a window manager. So I was thinking if other window managers could use a dock application, even if it's a tiling window manager or a dynamic window manager.
Well, that'd be an interesting experiment. Yeah. What doc do you run?
The one I'm running now, Plank.
Okay, so help if I could spell. Yeah, I mean, I do have other desktop environments installed on this system, like KDE and GNOME and Cinnamon and Mate. Matter of fact, I have a few, just so I can keep up with what they do from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But I hardly ever log into any of them.
Yeah. If I ever do put another environment on here, it'll most likely be something that I have not used before.
Oh, there it is. Let's see
Oh.
if it'll launch something for me. If it'll launch. Oh, look at that! It tiled it. That's kind of sweet. I mean, the only reason I haven't tried anything like this is because I kind of feel like it would defeat the purpose of a tiling window manager. I like roll fee. I like D menu. I mean, I like to keep my. It looks like it's taking up a lot of real estate though. That docky or that plank.
Yeah, that's true. But if you put if you turn the hide setting on, it should revert that to normal.
True. Well, that's pretty neat. So, like, all you would have to do is put that in the i3 config file to launch a startup.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know from watching most of DT's videos, I know another good thing you can get for iFree is Polybar, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, I think I've got that. It seemed a little complicated. I didn't really mess with it that much, but it seems like DT got it to run the Powerline theme, which is something that I wish I could do with i3 blocks. I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
But that would be kind of neat. Like yeah, John, I noticed that too. There was a huge gap between the windows and the dock. I think maybe Plank was trying to tile as well, because remember that the dock itself registers as an app. Like
Mhm.
like that's why I don't use Conky, because Conky tried to tile on my system too.
Yeah.
And so like I just put all the information I need in the i3 blocks.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I like docs. Um. My mic is a bit off. You mean low or mm, how about now? Whoops, that's a bit high, huh? How about now? Am I loud, Ricky? Can you confirm?
Uh, you're okay. I can hear you.
Oh. Oh, that might be my voice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been fighting a cold, so that might be what you're hearing there. Got my tea, honey, and I took some Dayquil. So, uh, life in the tundra. Yeah, though, I've been liking i3, and like from what I could tell, um, OpenBox is very similar in the sense of it has a config file. You set it to start the applications from the start. Um,
Mhm.
you have to get it to run nitrogen restore to get your wallpaper back. It just seems like the syntax and the commands are a bit different in the config file, but it seems to be the same concept in my opinion.
Yeah. Debian has been updated to 9.7.0.
How long was I out? Another Debian release? Usually that takes 10 years.
Nope, it just literally released not long ago. Another Linux distro got an update not long ago too. Makulu Linux is now up to its latest snapshot.
Hmm.
Archman JWM is up to its latest snapshot. Clonezilla is up to 2.6.1 and 2.
Hmm.
Clone OS is up to 19.01. Robo Linux is up to 9.6. Nitrix 1.1.3 and Container Linux.
Hmm. Oh. Yeah, it looks like yeah. Yeah, so I was yeah, we were talking about the national Linux distro that it should be based on Ubuntu.
Yeah,
Um
I think that's what should happen.
yeah, me too. I think Ubuntu um Canonical has the resources to do it. Um I would like to see snap packages or flat packs or something along those lines become sort of a replacement for the AUR to
Mm,
well, maybe not in the sense of like make it the AUR or the AUR, but like to like bring all the packages that are in the AUR to one of those platforms or something similar to it. You know, just
or what they could do is just give Pac-Man direct access to the AUR.
They could do that.
I mean, Pac-Man itself cannot get into the AUR unless you have a helper.
Yeah, yeah. I think the major issue they have is that they don't have the time to really review and analyze and make sure that every single application in the AUR is what it says it is. And so they want to be careful what they endorse. I can get that.
And the thing is, the AUR is still being kept an eye on because it does have a history of having malware in it.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's the same concept as adding a PPA. I mean, you can get the same result from adding a PPA to a Debian-based or Ubuntu-based. You just gotta be careful what you get.
But I have noticed something that Arch does so well that Ubuntu, I don't think, has the fundamentals of. If you look at how the make package system is for Arch, it's actually a lot superior to how you make packages on Ubuntu/Debian systems. Because on Arch systems, it's a lot easier to do than Ubuntu/Debian systems. Because with Ubuntu/Debian systems, you have to have a few more dependencies in there, and you have to do a whole bunch of things to get it working.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's the thing I've noticed is that there's a lot of things in Arch Linux right now that is automated very well, such as I have this package called Steam Wine that I got from the AUR, and what it does is it automates the installation of the Windows version of Steam through Wine, and it keeps it updated. As long as you update your AUR packages, it updates through everything. And I found that to be very, very convenient for me because it runs certain games that Proton has been having issues with. Steam Wine runs fine.
Okay.
And a few other apps, like when I was trying to get Arch working on this current ThinkPad with NVIDIA Optimus on it, that was a pain and a half. I tell you that much. It took me about a week to figure out how to get it to work properly. I dabbled a lot. I went into the AUR. I looked up NVIDIA Optimus, and I downloaded a package called Optimus Manager. And it turns out in order to get my system to work properly with the second display like I have here, I have to have it in NVIDIA mode. It switches between NVIDIA and Intel integrated. And so, I noticed that if I don't have NVIDIA enabled, it won't send the second display. It won't even detect it. And so I had to, but when I enabled NVIDIA through the BIOS, through the UEFI, then only the external display would show up, not the laptop screen. And it took until I downloaded this package called NVIDIA, Optimus Manager, and switching the system itself to boot into NVIDIA that it started working properly. And I can switch it to Intel when I'm on the go, to save battery power or whatnot. But it took me so long to figure out how to get it to work properly that I'm afraid to put any other distribution on this thing. I don't want to break it again and have to fight with it again.
Oh, what's this? Gmail mobile app redesign with material theme begins rolling out today.
Uh-oh.
Yahoo breach settlement rejected by judge. Yeah, I'm checking a few news articles to see what's interesting. Oh wait, what's this? Razer, oh my lord. Though I can understand, Razer is selling its first pink laptop.
Razer, the
It's the company that makes the headphones and the accessories.
Oh. So they're making a pink laptop to go with their pink headset.
That's what it sounds like. Apple
Uh,
Apple's streaming video service is reportedly launching this spring. Well, that won't really matter to me because I don't really do that much video services anyway, except for YouTube. That's about it.
So it'd only be available for Apple products through Apple products, probably.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? How to turn off FaceTime on your iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Oh, wow. There's an off switch for FaceTime now? That is awesome. It's about time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Anything else? Facebook is giving some power back to its users, but very slowly. What does it mean by that? What does it? It says right here. Healthy Data Privacy Day. If you're looking for a fun way to say to protect your privacy, and then remember that telecom companies were selling your real-time location to everyone who could afford it until last week. Really?
So they're slowly gonna give us our privacy power back.
It says right here. Next up, 2 stories about Facebook and power. The first concerns Facebook's plan to build a kind of independent Supreme Court for content moderation. It's an idea that Mark Zuckerberg floated last April in a conversation with Ezra Kellin that Facebook formally committed to in November. Today, Nick Clegg, the company's new head of policy and communications, announced Facebook's next steps towards building what it now calling an oversight board, and published its draft charter. As we build out the board, we want to make sure that it is able to render independent judgment, is transparent, and respects privacy. After initial consolidation and deliberation, we proposed a basic scope and structure that's outlined in this draft charter. We have also identified key decisions that still need to be made, like the number of members, length of terms, and how cases are selected. We look to answer these questions over the next 6 months in a series of workshops around the world where we will convince experts and organizations who work on a range of issues such as free expression, technology, and democracy. I can't pronounce this word for the life of me. I'm sorry. Fairness and human rights. We will host these workshops in Singapore, Dali, Nairobi, Berlin, New York, Mexico City, and many more cities. Feedback on how best to design a board that upholds our principles and brings independent judgment to hard cases. I like the idea of a board which promises to dissolve power over speech and content moderation to a more diverse group of subject matter experts who are less tethered to the politics of one country or the financial interests of the platform, as I wrote last summer. And then it just explains even further what they're planning to do. I'm not going to go into it. So basically what they're saying is they're trying, let me just do this, trying to pretty much respect I'm sorry. I'm just saying this to you right now, Facebook. You are a data collection company. You do nothing but take our data and put advertisements on our face because you have that data. That's all you do. You're just like Microsoft.
Yeah.
The only reason why people still use your platform, including myself, is because we have friends and family who we can only communicate on there. Otherwise, we would have left a long time ago.
Yeah, same here. I'm on Facebook just because there are certain people that I won't be. Do I have an echo?
No, you don't.
So it's just over here then. Yeah, I'm only on Facebook because there's certain people, and that's including family, that I won't be able to communicate with unless I do so through Facebook. And also, I kind of view it as a battleground, like for like certain things. And like, if I ever get banned from it or kicked off of it, I'll be okay with that. I probably won't go back on it.
I highly doubt I'll get banned from it, but if I do, oh well. I still have Discord, I still have Mastodon, and I still have Diaspora.
Yeah.
Which I think really the future of the Linux community is not going to be with Facebook, but pretty much open source social networking, I think, is our future for our community, because this will allow us to talk about Linux all day long, about technology, about computers, and allow us to share ideas and make this community better.
I'm sorry about that. I got thrown out for a second. I don't know what the heck is going on here.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's just Crapcast doing what Crapcast does.
What's this? Facebook blocks third-party tools that collect information on political ads. Well, at least you've done something right. What's this? Ireland is questioning Facebook's plan to merge Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Wait, what?
So wait. WhatsApp? Isn't WhatsApp Google?
No. WhatsApp is it's another type of messaging platform, but it's owned by Facebook. Facebook is planning to merge Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp.
I wonder what kind of a hot mess that's going to look like.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and find out.
Yeah.
What's this? Android Q might ship with more privacy protections. Well, if you're shipping with more privacy, that's going to be a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, I kind of see that like a lot of these companies are now using privacy as a gimmick now to sell more things. There is a demand for it, and I think that they're trying to like hop on that bandwagon. I wish I could believe that most of them were serious about it, but
now, as for people that are pretty much leaving all Google platforms and stuff, the reason why a whole bunch of people have jumped off of Google's bandwagon is we have officially now entered chapter 2 of the Selfish Ledger. I'm pretty sure you heard Switch talk about that.
Yes, I've heard people talk about it. I'm not,
basically, the Selfish Ledger algorithm is starting to right itself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. That it's supposed to be showing us what it wants us to see now.
Yeah, basically, it's not about what we want. It's basically what it wants us to do. It's basically, I know the best way to summarize it. It's pretty much a form of brainwashing.
Yeah, it's trying to direct human behavior, from what I understand.
That's pretty much what it's look like. That's what it looks like.
Well, sounds like 1984.
That's pretty close. Pretty close.
We're getting there.
Let's see. The iPhone SE is the best minimalist phone right now. Oh yeah, that's right. Apple's relaunched the iPhone SE. How much is the thing again? this iPhone, basically the iPhone SE is nearly 3 years old, 4-inch smartphone modeled after the iPhone 5S at a $100 discount.
Hmm.
That's actually not bad.
That's not a bad idea. I hear that. I hear that iPhones are better with privacy, like out of the box, than Android.
Well, the thing is, they're pretty much more stable. I mean, I used to have an iPhone. I had an iPhone last year, but I wanted to switch back over to Android, so I went back to Android, and now I'm on the Samsung Galaxy S9. But at some point, I'm going to switch over to the Samsung Galaxy S10 when it comes out.
Mm.
Maybe like in about a year or two.
Yeah, like right now, I just have this this LG 4. You know, I had to buy a new phone because my Galaxy Note 4, it just fried on me. What do I want to turn on? So I looked for something that was compatible with AT&T, so I wouldn't have to swap out my phone number and everything. And so I just did that. But I wish I did my research first, because I would have. Now I heard about Lineage OS. I go to their website and they don't have a image for this model. So I wish I had done my research. And
yeah, the thing about Lineage, it's only compatible with certain phones.
Yeah, that's what I found out, unfortunately.
I think what Lineage needs to do is they need to have a universal model that's compatible with any phone.
Yeah. Yeah, like what Linux does. They have a wide variety of hardware compatibilities. They have a wide. I mean, they could do the same thing with phones, right?
Yep. Also, the thing we are waiting on right now is we are pretty much waiting on the Librem 5.
Hmm.
The Librem 5 is going to be the first true Linux phone. It is in this is full Linux based. It has free and open source software out of the box.
Wow.
But that's not the only thing it does. When you get the phone, you get to choose between free desktop environments. You have your options between GNOME, KDE, or Ubuntu Touch.
Well, if I have to choose between GNOME or KDE, ooh, ouch. That's a tough choice, because I like certain things about them and I dislike certain things about them. Let's see.
Right, right now, the Librem 5 is scheduled for an April 2019 release. Pre-orders are going right now for the phone. The phone is pretty much around. Basically, it says you can pre-order the phone at early bird pricing, $599 until January 31st, or $649 when it ships.
Oh. Well, that's a bit pricey for me, but yeah, I mean, it's a start. It's a start.
But yeah, this phone can do a lot. I mean, this is fully Linux based. I'm pretty sure it's got terminal features. And the best part is, from what I'm seeing right here, you can hook it up to a cable, hook it up to a computer, and you can pretty much, basically hook it up to a monitor, and you can pretty much use it as a computer.
Wow, that's impressive.
And right now is a screenshot showing it on using GNOME. I'm not going to bother showing any screenshots or anything because copyright.
I'm on the same website. I see it. Yeah.
It's got a nice little text messaging feature there. It looks really nice. It's got a nice battery. It's even got a headphone jack.
It's sad that we have to advertise a headphone jack as a feature.
And it says right here, in addition to its high performance and tightly integrative native applications, the Librem 5 will be able to run HTML5 web applications, which means common applications you can use every day will be available through the web browser. We plan to sandbox and isolate these applications from the OS, so the applications will not be able to have visibility into other running applications or have access to areas that you do not expectedly allow. These applications include YouTube, Instagram, ESPN, NBA, NFL, NHL, Nextcloud,
Wow.
and a lot more. There's a lot of good things coming from this phone. I have really good faith that this phone's going to go very far. And here's the differences between between the Librem 5, Apple, and Android. User controls device. Purism OS? Yes. This thing does not track you. This thing, it has trackers disabled by default. It's got layered security protection. User controlled source code. It runs GNU. It runs GNU Linux. It also separates CPU from cellular baseband, IP native communication first, and decentralized communication by default.
Yeah, it's good that there's a demand for this stuff, enough so that a company is doing this. I'm looking at their website. They have laptops too. Wow.
Yeah, the laptops are very interesting, and basically all their laptops pretty much come with the Purism OS on it. Let's see. Introducing version 4 of the Librem laptop line. Now, with updated CPU and graphics for all models, and a 4K high DPI screen for the 15-inch model. Oh, that's nice. Very good for graphics.
Yeah.
So laptops and phones that respect your privacy of your family and the security of your business. Oh, wow.
And what's the price range? Let's see what we got here.
Yeah. I'm going to look at that too. Let me look at products. Librem 15. That's the one I want to see.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, it's got a 7th generation Intel processor, 2 cores, 4 threads, 4 gigs of memory, up to 16 gigabytes DDR4. Man. Oh, what do we got here?
Total price, the most basic, $1,599. Wow.
That's expensive, but you are getting what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And this thing has actual hardware switches on it to disable your microphone, camera, wireless, and Bluetooth.
Yeah, you really are getting what you pay for with this thing.
Oh yeah. It's got a matte display. It's got a touchpad. Really nice keyboard. Okay, Anonymous. See you later. It's got what's this? Prism key? A powerful key to switch your computer and applications. One button to rule them all. Quickly access all your favorite apps and documents from a single key. That is awesome! So you're saying this one key I can access anything? That is cool. What's this?
Excuse me.
Your privacy is protected chip by chip. Every hardware chip individually selected with emphasis on freedom respecting. Okay.
Gotta switch to Laundry over. I'll be right back. I'll let you take over for a second.
Don't mind if I do. Okay. TPM included. Puro S. Battery life is roughly 6 to 9 hours. That's not bad. Intel HD graphics 2 is 620 up to 16. Storage configurable. Not bad. Not bad at all. Free USB 3.0 ports. Not bad. Low noise fan. This thing is really good.
Okay. I'm back.
Okay. I mean, this company has some really good products. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
laptops, an upcoming phone. They pretty much got really good stuff right now.
Yeah, seems like they have a good philosophy too, which we're still talking about purism, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
And right there, there's a screenshot of the laptop, and it looks like it's running GIMP 210.
Yeah.
Here's another screenshot, in this time running the GNOME desktop environment.
Hmm.
16 up to 16 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, if you can get a computer with 16 gigabytes of RAM, a terabyte hard drive, it'll pretty much run anything up to that point. Literally anything.
And look at that, the Librem 13 can go up to 1920 by 1080p. The resolution.
That's not bad.
That's very impressive.
Let's see here. Um, right now, the Librem 13 is the cheapest one they got, which starts at 1,399. The Librem 5 is going to be is on a pre-order basis right now for $599. Okay, I want to go to the Manjaro website because I know that they got laptops as well.
Yes, they do. and I think that's pretty neat too. I think they have a pretty strong backing too. Not maybe not as influential as Canonical or something, but I mean, if they're able to create their own laptops, I mean, they must have somebody backing them.
Okay, what we got here? The Manjaro Notebook. Okay, let's see.
Looks like it's only available. You can only buy them in Europe. It looks like, but yeah. Let me find a currency converter.
Yeah, it really does look like they're European only, which is sad because you can't really order these over the US.
Yeah, because I do like Manjaro as a distribution. Um, Personally, I'd use Manjaro over Ubuntu, but I know a lot of people won't do that for stability
Yeah,
reasons.
yeah, that's. Oh, what's this? Manjaro Mini PC. Oh wow, that's a mini PC. Look at that thing. Two USB ports, headphone jack, SD port, power cable port. It's got an i3 processor in it, 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's got Intel graphics, and it has a really nice size 120 gigabytes of hard drive storage.
That's not bad at all.
I mean, here's the thing: comparing to Windows, where you need so much hard drive storage, with just 120 gigabytes or even 60 gigabytes, you can get what you need done on any Linux machine for the lowest hard drive space possible. Windows can't do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And yeah, because what's this I hear about them wanting you to reserve 7 gigs of hard drive space for updates, just for updates.
Just, I think that's stupid that they want you to reserve 7 gigabytes because, I mean, you need all the gigabytes you can in a Windows machine. So, in order to pretty much get past that, you need to pretty much go up at least 2 terabyte in order to get past that problem.
Well, what I don't like is that for a while, Windows 10, Microsoft was forced upgrading systems that were running Windows 7 to Windows 10. Many of them did not have the hardware to support Windows 10. And it's like, what about a machine like that only had like 50 gigs that you automatically updated from Windows 7 to Windows 10? You're going to take 7 gigs away from that guy. And he doesn't have that much
Yeah.
storage as it is. Like, how much space does the system itself require? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. Excuse me for 1 minute, please.
sure. Yeah, I'm looking up Windows 10 system requirements right now. um, I'm trying to find out how much hard drive space my Windows 10 actually requires minimally. Oh my. Oh my. So, according to Microsoft.com, Windows 10 requires, as a minimum for a 64-bit OS, 32 gigs of hard drive space. I wonder if that's including the 7 gigs that it's going to take from you now. Or I wonder if that's just as a base install before it takes the 7 gigs away. Oh, welcome back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm on Microsoft's website right now. I was curious to find out like what the minimum requirements for
The updates?
for hard drive space as like a base install. Like you know how you need to have a certain amount of space to install a system.
Yeah.
Um, I'm on their website right now. It work for 64 for the 64-bit version of Windows 10. It requires a minimum of 32 gigs. That's how much the operating system itself requires. And I wonder if that's including the 7 gigs that it's going to take for updates, or if the 7 gigs is going to be like on top of that to make it like 39 or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of space for an operating system. I mean, holy cow.
I want to go on eBay for just a minute, and I think what we're going to do, we're going to price how expensive Microsoft stuff really is. Okay, let me look up the, let's see, Microsoft Surface Free. That's the Surface Pro feed.
Hey, Rick,
Yes.
I would like your room swept today.
Okay. I'll get.
All the way, the whole room.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Microsoft Surface Free. The original Microsoft Surface Free on eBay is $169.99, which is not that bad.
No, not at all.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the Surface Free seems to be the cheaper one, because I know for a fact
What'd they say?
let's see, let me look at the Surface One.
Huh? Mom, I saw you talking to somebody. You were on there for like 15 minutes talking to somebody.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, what do we got here? Microsoft Surface Pro 1234 repair service, $50. $50. I'd rather get a. I.
Says 64.
Okay, adapter. There's an adapter charger for it.
So I'm assuming that this what version of Windows 10 is that going to come with?
he has not
Okay,
gotten the letter.
let's see. Microsoft Surface Free Wi-Fi Lite, 64 gigabyte, 60. Wait. What does that say? I must be.
I think your sound cut out, Ricky, for a second.
Let's see. 64. Yeah. It might echo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
64 gigabytes of hard drive space. It's got Wi-Fi only.
Yep.
It's very good. $169.99. Because I know for a fact the older versions of these tablets can run Linux.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what kind of hardware it has in it, because then that will give you a pretty good idea of whether it can run Linux or not.
Yeah, that is true.
Fortunately, it doesn't. I wonder if I were to go Microsoft Surface 3 and look up the actual specs.
Let's see. No, just. Ha! iPhone 4 for $49.
Mm,
$49 for an iPhone 4. That's really nice.
Intel quad-core Atom processor. I'm looking at the hardware specs of the Surface 3.
So since it runs an since it's an Atom architecture, which means wouldn't it need the Atom ISO image?
I don't know if that's a separate thing. I thought like an Intel Atom was like a regular processor. Is it a different architecture?
I'm not sure. I think I'm not. I'm not sure.
Because what I'm mainly looking at is Wi-Fi chipset. That's very important. That's not Broadcom.
Yeah, but Switch does not like Broadcom one bit.
Me neither. It was a pain in you know what to run a Broadcom with Arch.
Uh-huh.
And I was talking about it earlier that like every kernel update broke my system to an unbootable state because of Broadcom.
Yep. Okay, that's pretty much it for that page. What else is there? Let me think here. Let me look up.
I might have to jump off here in a second. I'll be on later on.
Yeah, I need to get going too.
All
See
right.
you later.
Bye-bye.